Real Hobbits of Indonesia. Is Homo floresiensis really extinct? The Hobbits in Indonesia are not the fictional characters from J.R.R. Tolkien's novels, but a real species of early human that lived on the island of Flores in Indonesia, until about 50,000 to 12,000 years ago. They are scientifically known as Homo floresiensis, and they were nicknamed the Hobbits because they stood only about 3 feet, 6 inches, 106 centimeters, tall, with brains 1/3 the size of living people. Homo floresiensis was a small-brained, large-footed toolmaker, and no one knows where it evolved from. Some scientists think it was a descendant of Homo erectus, a larger human ancestor that also lived in Indonesia, but others think it was a more primitive species that migrated out of Africa earlier. Homo floresiensis shared the island with other unusual animals, such as Komodo dragons, pygmy stegodon elephants, and giant rats. Homo floresiensis was discovered in 2003, when a team of Australian and Indonesian researchers found a partial skeleton in a cave called Liang Bua. Since then, more fossils and artifacts have been found, but the origin and fate of the hobbits remain a mystery. Are there hobbits alive in the world today? Since their discovery on the Indonesian island of Flores in 2003, Homo floresiensis has been the source of much debate and speculation. The question of whether or not this species is extinct has been a major point of contention, with many believing that they may still exist in this remote corner of the world. Homo floresiensis, despite its tiny size and relatively recent existence, has made a substantial contribution to our comprehension of human evolution. Despite being supposedly extinct, people keep reporting seeing these hobbits. The debate about modern hobbits may soon resemble the debate over other potential relic hominin species such as Bigfoot in North America or the Yeti in the Himalayas. If this species of human exists, does it have rights? What does it mean for environmental questions? What does it mean for religion? Is this human species also in need of salvation? The first fossils of Homo floresiensis were discovered in 2003 in a limestone cave on the island of Flores, making it a relatively recent find. The initial find was a partial skeleton that included a skull and numerous limb bones and indicated that the person was around 3 feet tall with a grapefruit-sized brain. More remains, including more complete skeletons and stone tools, were discovered during later investigations of the cave. These discoveries shed light on our understanding of hominid evolution in this region and contributed to further scientific research about the origins and demise of Homo floresiensis. Some scientists have argued that it may be offensive to refer to an extinct human species as a hobbit because of the association with J.R.R. Tolkien's fantasy characters and their diminutive size, which could appear disparaging or inappropriate in nature. Others disagree, claiming that the moniker has become widely used both in popular media and scientific publications, as well as by some of the archaeologists who discovered Homo floresiensis fossils on Flores Island in Indonesia, where they dubbed them hobbits. Whatever one's opinion may be regarding this issue, it is important to remember that respect should always be given when discussing any extinct species of humans or animals. Despite its diminutive stature, Homo floresiensis possessed distinctive morphological and behavioral traits that distinguished it from other human species and have sparked ongoing discussion over its evolutionary history among scientists. Environmental changes could have been a major factor in the supposed extinction of Homo floresiensis. Evidence suggests that around the time of their disappearance, the climate on Flores changed dramatically. The temperatures dropped and became much drier than before, making it difficult for Homo floresiensis to find food and water. In addition, sea level fluctuations may have caused an island near Flores to shrink in size significantly, denying Homo floresiensis access to new habitats. These environmental changes likely had a significant impact on this species' survival, perhaps leading to its ultimate extinction. Competition from other hominins is another reason that could contribute to the extinction of Homo floresiensis. While the exact chronology of other hominins' arrival on Flores is unknown, it's probable that they faced off against Homo floresiensis for resources like food and water, including Homo sapiens or Homo erectus. Some researchers have hypothesized that this intense competition combined with aggressive hunting or killing by these other hominins may have been enough to drive them into extinction, as they were unable to survive in such harsh conditions for an extended period of time. But are they really gone? Gregory IV, a retired anthropologist, has gathered more than 30 eyewitness claims from the local Leo population that the Hobbit has been seen Flores. He wrote about this in his 2022 book, Between Ape and Human, an anthropologist on the trail of a hidden hominoid. Dr. Flores wrote, but, taking seriously what Leo people say about the creatures, supplemented by other sorts of evidence, is fully consistent with a surviving hominin species, or one that only went extinct within the last 100 years. The discovery of Homo luzonensis on the Philippine island of Luzon in 2019 has sparked a new debate about the potential that Homo floresiensis may not be entirely extinct. The newly discovered species, which was given the name Homo luzonensis, showed similarities to other hominins as well as distinct characteristics like its small body size and peculiar dental traits. This finding has led some researchers to believe that small populations of hominins could have survived long after they disappeared from mainland Asia on islands located throughout Southeast Asia. The debate surrounding the possible extinction or survival of Homo floresiensis has been ongoing for some time, with no clear consensus yet reached on the issue. Fossil evidence indicates that Homo floresiensis became extinct around 12,000 years ago, which is relatively recent in terms of time for humanity, leading many to believe that it could still be alive today. Additionally, there have been sightings of creatures matching Homo floresiensis reported in recent times, and this fuels further speculation that they are not extinct but rather exist somewhere out in the world. It would have huge moral and legal ramifications for how we deal with and safeguard endangered species if Homo floresiensis was discovered to still be alive. First and foremost, it is complicated and debatable whether a surviving population of Homo floresiensis would be granted human rights. The right to life, liberty, and equality before the law are only a few of the fundamental liberties that are widely seen as being inherent to all people. There is constant discussion about whether non-human species, such chimpanzees or dolphins, should have the same rights as humans. This has given rise to numerous legal and moral issues because the hobbits are an actual human species. Would they be allowed to vote? Could they collect welfare payments? Could they own their native lands? Could they get a passport? The issue of whether Homo floresiensis is a species that deserves human rights in this situation is likely to rely on a variety of variables. It might be claimed that Homo floresiensis should be given certain rights and protections if it turns out that they are more related to modern humans than previously thought. Additionally, it can be claimed that Homo floresiensis deserves some safeguards if it turns out that the species is capable of language, tool use, or other advanced behaviors. It's unclear how current legislation and rules would apply to a species that differs so greatly from modern humans. The finding of a Homo floresiensis population would also demonstrate the value of conservation efforts and the necessity of preventing the extinction of endangered species. Legally, the finding of a surviving population of Homo floresiensis would probably result in the creation of new rules and legislation to safeguard the species and its habitat. Attempts to prevent the introduction of non-native species that might compete with or prey upon Homo floresiensis are among these protections, as are measures like habitat restoration, restrictions on modern human activity in areas where the species lives, and efforts to limit the spread of invasive species. A viable population of Homo floresiensis would also probably prompt ethical queries about how we ought to treat the species and what duties we have to safeguard it. Some could contend that we have a moral obligation to protect a species that has contributed so significantly to our understanding of human evolution. Others would contend that the preservation of Homo Floresiensis should come before issues like resource extraction or economic growth. Religious beliefs would undoubtedly be significantly affected by the discovery of a second human species, since it would call into question long-held notions about the singularity and specialness of humans. According to numerous religious traditions, humans are either a special creation of a supernatural creator, or we have a distinct spiritual nature that distinguishes us from other creatures. How these ideas fit into a more comprehensive view of the natural world would come under scrutiny in the event of the discovery of a different species of humans. From a Christian perspective, are the Hobbits impacted by original sin? Are they descended from Eve and morally responsible for eating the forbidden fruit even though they are a separate human species? Do they have souls? Do they get free passes to heaven? The precise effect of such a finding on religious beliefs would probably depend on a variety of elements, including the distinctive doctrines and customs of various faiths, and the scientific evidence proving the discovery. Because they see them as a component of the diverse natural world that reflects the divine character of creation, some religious traditions may be more accepting of the concept of numerous human species. The concept of numerous human species may present a greater challenge for other traditions, presenting issues regarding the distinctiveness of humans and the nature of the divine. It's important to note that religious societies have frequently responded to scientific discoveries with both hostility and accommodation, and the discovery of an additional human species would probably be no different. Others may be more accepting of the idea and work to find methods to reconcile their faith with the new evidence. However, some religious believers may find the discovery of a different human species to be at conflict with their beliefs. This debate can be seen as an example of how scientific inquiry can lead to important and difficult questions and debates about our past and our future. It is clear that further research into the possible survival or extinction of Homo floresiensis is needed in order to gain a better understanding of this species and its place in human history. Until then, the debates surrounding the possible extinction or survival of Homo floresiensis will continue to rage on. Unless, of course, we find them alive someday. Then we have some hard debates on what it means to be human. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to Connect Paranormal. This will allow us to make more videos. Thanks for watching.